Hello and welcome back to the Misfits podcast, rated 5 stars on iTunes by Bobby Bloor. He says, this podcast is really good for sleep. You just put it on, close your eyes, and drift into traffic. Review there, Bobby.
Actually, good one.
It's fucking incredible. I'm joined today by my co-host, Toby on the telly.
Hello.
Mason, a.k.a. Zuckles.
What's up?
Jay, a.k.a. McCreamy.
How's it going?
Mr. Swagger Souls himself.
What's going on?
And of course, special guest, DJ Killer KEEMSTAR.
What up?
He's in the building.
Oh, dude, it's him.
He's here.
It's that one guy.
Yo, can you go, let's get right into the news?
Let's get right into the news.
You did it. You did the thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Just before we proceed, I do have to mention a couple things. The first thing being, you can listen to episodes of this podcast early and for free every Tuesday on Spotify exclusively. So if you want to listen to the podcast early, Spotify is your place to go.
That's
Spotify is the shit as far as we're concerned. Also, our merch is still available on scuff.store. So if you're feeling like picking up some high quality merchandise, head over to scuff.store today. And we're also doing a live show in Boston during PAX East, our second live show of all time, on February 28th. It's a Friday. And one in LA on Sunday, March 8th. LA is on sale as of right now, and we're announcing that on the podcast. I was just reading Ryan's DM.
Nice.
Anyway, you can buy tickets now. Go to our Twitter at Misfits, Instagram at Misfits. You'll be able to find a link to go get those tickets. Anyway,
Fuck yes.
all that bullshit aside, how you going, Keem?
I'm doing real good. I love Australia. It's been so much fun here.
Happy Australia Day.
Chad,
Yes.
Happy Australia
Happy
Day.
fucking
Cheers.
Australia Day.
We're drinking waters and gamer subs right now.
Nice.
In true
Cheers to
Australian
that.
spirit.
Keem himself even said that the Gamer Sups was really tasty, and he had a beverage right before the podcast.
G Fuel.
Don't get Keem sued.
I actually refuse to drink it. G Fuel.
He absolutely refused it.
It's like conflict of interest here, but I'm sure we can move past it.
It's all right. It's really tasty, Keem.
But if you want a real beverage, go to Gamersubs.
G Fuel. Gfuel.com.
Gamersubs.gg.
Gayfuel.
G Fuel.
Okay, so you love Australia, despite coming at a very strange time with the fires and everything going on.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your experience? What do you feel?
Oh, dude, it's been great. Chad, Anything for Views has been absolutely lovely, legend. Great to hang out with you guys, of course, as well. Fan meetup, the fan meetup that we did, like, got to see the fans here in Australia. I mean, everyone's been the fucking city, the official Twitter city was like welcoming. I can't.
Keem's had a big night last
I
night.
can't speak. Welcoming me.
Really?
So it's been great. It's been absolutely lovely. I love it.
I didn't even know the city Twitter welcome.
So cool.
It's
I
fantastic.
don't know. I didn't even know that Melbourne had a city Twitter.
Neither did
I
I.
wonder who runs it.
Probably some boomer.
You say my fans are boomers?
Nothing of the sort. Yeah, actually, I didn't go to your meetup. Swagger did, but
Yeah, it was a good time.
I saw the
Pretty fun.
photos. It looked like a really good crowd. Looked like you guys had a lot of fun.
About what, 1,300 people?
It's about
1,200.
1,200. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
I reckon Aussie fans, no offense to everyone else in the world, tend to be the rowdiest, tend to be some of the best. You know,
For real.
Some guy it was like two kids in front of you, like, hey, can I punch my friend in the stomach for you? And he was just like, yeah, sure. And then some guy just socked his friend in the stomach, and then they shook hands and left.
What the fuck?
you love
So
to see it.
it was quite the experience. I don't think this ever happened at one of our meetups, but not too bad.
Nothing like bonding. And yeah, we went fishing with you just on Saturday, which was
Yesterday,
I don't know. Would you call that a successful trip?
I think so. I had a
fun.
good time.
We
dude.
had fun. I think
It's pretty strange, right? So in America, right, you go into the pet store, right, and you see all the fish, right, and there's this like the puffer fish, right, the one that turns into a circle,
Yeah,
right,
the toady.
and like people buy those and put them in their tank, and they're like, oh, I got a puffer fish, like it's a big deal, right? Well, we're fishing yesterday, right? And I just got one of those motherfuckers on the hook, and it's just like wild that
It's like a big deal.
This exotic fish that you would get in a pet store back home is just swimming down there eating my shit. You know?
Yeah, although they did look pretty underwhelming when we caught them. They weren't like blown up or anything. They were kind of slimy little.
Yeah, I don't think they can't blow up unless they're in the water, can they?
I have no idea.
They use the water to blow up.
I guess they do,
exactly.
don't they?
So they just kind of came up and they were coughing up black shit.
Yeah.
And they shat in your hand, didn't they?
Yeah, they were shitting hardcore.
He fucking held it in his hand, just covered in shit.
Kind of
and
putrid,
he just fucking winds up. He skips this toady just across the water.
Respectfully,
skips.
delicately
Well,
delicately
dude,
skipped.
Yeah, it's not. He didn't fucking didn't Kobe Bryant that shit in the water.
It was at least 4 skips though across the water.
It was a pretty elegant thing, but that little bitch swam back down. Fish are resilient, and they also, don't really have a consciousness that's,
Or do they?
I don't know.
That is the question.
That is the question. What if these fish are hyper aware? What if they knew exactly what was going on? What if they were fucking with us? What if he was like, look, I'm going to shit on this guy's hand real quick?
Yeah, what if they know what the hooks are?
Maybe it shat in your hand because it wanted to be flung across the water.
Just like quick Uber drive.
Yeah,
It's
it
across
would
the
be
ocean.
fun, yeah.
Fast traveling.
We caught a bunch of fish. I mean, dude, even if obviously the idea was to go out there with cameras and film bits and do stuff, but with the wind on the water and either just not getting the footage you needed.
There's only so much you can do on a boat.
Well, exactly. But either way, it was good to relax and just like sit on the water.
Very
and
therapeutic.
drink a couple of CCs and fucking put your rod in the water.
Yeah, definitely. The sun was shining, the wind was blowing. I mean, the seagulls were stalking us.
Following the boat, following the wind.
You can't help but feel good after a day outside on the water.
Yeah, it was so nice, dude. I really enjoyed it, even if we didn't get the best content out of it.
So what's been your kind of favorite thing about Australia so far? Is there anything that comes to mind about anything that surprised you, or I don't know?
You know what? This seems like LA. Like it's just it's so similar to LA to me. It's like
interesting.
It's not really different at all. I think my favorite thing that I did since I've been here is went gold hunting, because as a kid,
tell us about that.
Yeah, so as a kid, I just always wanted to find treasure. That's all, and I still want to find treasure. So when I came to Australia, I kept saying to Chad and anyone else that was here, I was like, look, when we go there, let's go gold hunting. There's gold everywhere, all over Australia. And everyone's like, no, there's not. No, there's not. Well, we found some. We got a metal detector and we went looking for it, and we found a little bit.
How did you find it? And how much?
Beep, beep, beep. Like $2 worth.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you searching to find that $2?
Well,
yeah, but I feel like having the long build up, even if it is for such a small amount, it's still, you found gold, It's still like the excitement of finding what you're looking for.
So you found a $2 sliver of gold after many hours of searching using a metal detector?
Yeah.
A $4,000 metal detector.
Yeah, you bought this metal detector, correct?
Yeah, it was like $4,000.
Yeah.
Are you taking it home, or what's the go?
I'm giving it to my daughter. Yeah. I
Oh,
got
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Totally worth it.
That's wholesome as hell.
It's just the way it goes, right? So the same area where we were looking for gold, where I found $2 worth of gold, right? A couple weeks ago, they were telling us that this schoolgirl was like walking on a path with a bunch of their school kids. She kicked a rock. It was a gold color rock, picked it up, was like, oh my God, I think this is gold. And it was worth $30,000.
Really?
A $30,000 nugget she just kicked.
Oh
So
my God.
there's so many different locations like in this country where it's literally just everywhere,
Right.
But you got to be lucky enough to find it, because people have been picking up gold here for years, right?
Yeah.
Watch us just totally rip off your video idea and find like 50 grand worth of gold.
Just a massive
We've
rock.
got all the time in the world.
And like here you can buy a plot of land that is known to have things like opals and red gems and stuff in it for like 20 grand for a huge plot of land that is known for bearing those minerals.
As an American, can I buy land?
You probably
Yes.
could, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll buy some land then.
Good one.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go.
If you
let's
go out
gold
in
hunting.
the outback, they have all those opal mines where they basically drill like 40, 50 meters into the earth and just circle around on ropes and just dig out the opals. And it's really hard to see because this is out in the outback, red desert, all that shit. So they're hard to see. And if you fall into one, you'll fall fucking 40 meters down a shaft with no way back out with broken legs. And there's no one around to help you out.
At least we'll be surrounded by opals.
Yeah.
And that's really what matters.
You'll die in luxury.
You'll die in luxury.
It's weird. The way they do it is because it's like the season of opal hunting or whatever, because it's like the season starts at some whatever period before all the people come in to buy it. And then, but they like buy it for a season and then they'll just sell it. So it means that all the opal mining areas are super cheap because they just get thrown around from person to person. It's really interesting.
I see. So if you've been into finding treasure for the longest time, did you ever have another occasion where you looked for gold or looked for treasure as a kid or anything? Or
Well, I have metal detectors back home, so I found like a bunch of old like American coins.
Hey.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
So,
The weedy penny and all that.
yeah, I found a silver dollar that's 1876.
My dad's
So,
of similar age to you, and he has the same kind of hobby.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is that a
Is that-
compliment?
that's a boom. That's a boomer joke.
Yeah.
Now, how it started for me is like when I was a little kid, I was like, I would say maybe 10 years old. The neighbor's grandfather came over from like Texas, and he had a metal detector. And he was just, I'm like, what is this guy doing, right? And he just dug up like this old dime like right in front of me, and I was like, what the fuck? There's treasure in the ground, like. And so like ever since then, I've always been like obsessed with it. So yeah.
Damn.
I went metal detecting a couple times with my dad in the past. We'd go to like fucking parks and shit, and it would always be like pop back in the
Oh,
70s,
yeah.
the fucking beer cans. You'd open up the fucking tab and throw it. We just find all of those from fucking 45 years ago.
Didn't people just litter everywhere in
Yeah.
the 70s? Like you just
Yeah,
finish
dude.
a can of beer, just chuck it.
Yes.
I remember seeing that scene in, you probably haven't seen it, but in Mad Men, they just like, they had this picnic, and then when they were finished, they just literally threw everything onto the grass and walked away. Like, Jesus, fucking
It really was like that.
a different time.
My dad owns a big dairy farm, and there's a couple spots in the woods that was like just where people dump their garbage.
And dead
so you can
dollars?
like found these like old bottles and all this like crazy stuff that people just dumped all their shit there back in the day. Yeah, in the 1800s.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
Where
Are you-
was it? Where was it? Wait, where was
At his
it?
dad's farm.
Dad's farm.
In the woods.
Found a dollar.
Are you there? Do you have
That's
you?
kind of how that idea originated, by the way. Right?
from that?
I was metal detecting. I found that silver dollar. All right. And then many years later, I'm on a live stream and I just start freestyling, and I'm like, walked in the woods, found a dollar. That's how it all.
It's like a genius
Wow.
interview.
Have you ever invested in like gold or anything?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I thought you seemed like that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I did that a little bit. It just seems like it's such a like nice way to like have a physical form of your money, and it's I don't know. It's just good to have like different.
Compared
investments
nothing
and
to
stuff.
my Bitcoin investments.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. I got in at 2012, summer of 2012 for $7.
Jesus.
Whoa.
And did you get back out or what?
I kind of fucked up because I got out at 2,500, so I made a lot of money, but I
Yeah.
could have made about 10 times more.
Right.
Yeah.
Still.
Crazy.
Hey, that's not
Just
too
what it
bad.
is.
That's
Yeah.
good.
You could always think about how much more you could have made, but it's probably best that you
Exactly.
got out early as opposed to like, because as soon as it starts really taking off, that's when you don't want to leave. And then next thing you know, you've
at
got
some
nothing.
point you just got to pull,
Yeah.
you know, and you gotta regroup, which I did. So yeah.
True.
You've always been huge into Rust. Like, where did that start?
So the first day Rust came out,
Mm-hmm.
Gary Newman, he hit up a bunch of. Actually, it wasn't even out, right? It was just it was a browser game, and so to populate it for people to play it, Gary Newman like DM'd a bunch of people on Twitter that were YouTubers and gave them codes. I ended up getting a code and like just day one fell in love with this thing.
Well, this
right?
was back in Legacy.
Yeah.
right?
So I played a little bit of Minecraft, but like Rust is the first PC game that I really played.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so immediately fell in love with it, and I've been playing Rust ever since, you know. Yeah.
Have you guys ever played Rust together, or has that never happened?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times. It's been fun.
And like, what do you think about the game now? Do you still see it as huge potential?
Oh,
or-
I remember when you said it was esports ready. I don't know about that one, Chief. You think it's esports ready?
I want to turn it into an esport because
What do you envision, like, with the esports for Rust? Like, well, what's that's the thing that I struggle with.
So I've already done this.
Uh-huh.
You know, there was a game type that we worked on and that we created where there are two TCs in a very small building, one by one. All right. And both teams have a bunch of weapons, and there's a bunch of crates that come down with potential C4 or whatever, and they just battle it out. And whoever, you know, destroys the other team's TC wins. It was called Rust Conquest. So we tried that out. We did do a live, like, esport event. We had about 5,000 viewers. It was okay, but it's like, it's hard to build something from nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just is. So at that time, Rust was taking a dive. This is maybe about 2 years ago. Rust started really slowing down because they started making all these changes with the components and all that.
Yeah, they had the XP system for a while.
Yeah, there was a time where people were not really into Rust. Right now, Rust is in a very, very healthy state. And the reason why Rust is popping off they just had 100,000 concurrent players, which is a new record, right? The reason why it's so healthy right now is because of horses and helicopters, all right? It makes the game so much more engaging because if you need to go somewhere to loot something, it takes you forever, right? You can speed up the game by just getting in that helicopter, going and looking for sulfur, landing, getting that sulfur, and then flying back home. And it's made the game just so much more enjoyable, you know?
It's probably also resulted in way better content as well.
Yeah.
which
There's some great
really fuels
content
games.
creators.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, well, let's talk about your career a little bit, Keem. Let's get, like, how did you find yourself being the #1 drama channel on YouTube? How did you find yourself in that position?
Do you want me to start from the very beginning?
Let's go.
Let's start with Blog TV.
Well, it'll take a little bit to get there, but so I did legal collections at an attorney's office. I was pretty good at my goddamn job, and I would get a bonus check for hitting different quotas and stuff. Got a big fucking bonus check. Took everyone in the office out for drinks. Got completely wasted. Went home. Got on Xbox Live and just started talking shit to people because that's what I like to do. And I was especially really drunk. So I'm telling this guy, I'm like, I'm going to bend your grandmother over my knee, shave her ass hair, roll it up in a blunt and make you smoke it. Like I'm saying foul shit, right? I didn't know this, but a guy in my game was recording me. I had no idea.
Right.
So like the next day I get on Xbox Live and my messages are filled. Seen you on YouTube. I'm like, I'm not on YouTube. What is this, right? I find the video and I'm like, oh my God. So I reach out to the guy because I was going to ask him to delete it because I didn't want it to affect my job.
Yeah.
He goes, dude, you're the funniest dude like I've ever heard. Best trash talker. He's like, you should make videos with us. We just formed this group. We're like, messing with kids, talking trash to them in this game. So I went from asking him to delete it to being like,
Then like joining it.
okay, yeah. So I started doing that, and within 3 months, Machinima offered me a contract because you couldn't get paid back then for gaming content. You just did it for the love of the game, you know. Machinima offered me a contract within 3 months. Started my own YouTube channel. It just blew up.
What year was around the time that you first started your YouTube channel?
It would have been January of 2009.
And it was it on your own channel or was it on that group?
Well, we had our own individual channels, and then we had a group channel.
Okay, yeah.
And so we were the first. I mean, obviously there was gaming trolling videos and content like that.
There was like good grief.
Prior to us, right? But we were the first ones to like have a channel based on that. Like all of our content was based on that.
Yeah.
So you'd go into a game, someone would call you a faggot or whatever, right? Sure. Oh, now we're gonna fuck with this dude. We're gonna betray him. We're gonna get him to betray us, and we're gonna be like, yo, what's the shape of Italy? Boo! And then we kick him from the game because he's betrayed us. Like just shit like that. So
this is on Halo.
Yeah, all on Halo 3. So we were the first ones that did that. Our channel blew up. I mean, we got 250,000 subscribers, which back then was like in 2009. That was like literally having like, I don't know, 10 million subs today, right?
Yeah.
After a while of doing this, people didn't believe us. They were like, "Oh, your videos are staged." The main meme back then was "fake and gay." Oh, this is fake and gay.
Ray William Johnson to you.
Yeah. So I had to prove people that we were doing these pranks. These pranks were real. So I started streaming over on Blog TV, and I was doing all my pranks and all my trolling and all my trash talking and all my different characters that I would do in Halo 3 in front of a live audience, pulling anywhere between 2,000 and 3,000 people every single night.
That is insane.
That's very
crazy for back then.
Yeah, that was the late 2009, summer of 2010. So on that site, Blog TV, there was the Shaytards, Shane Dawson, Philip DeFranco. Everybody kind of had a Blog TV deal. And either Shay Carl or Philip DeFranco was #1 when I started over there. And in a matter of like 3 months, I became #1 on Blog TV. Like that was like my platform. So I did very good with that, trolling and doing all that live stuff. Eventually, at some point, like, Xbox Live started banning all my Xboxes. I mean, like, every fucking day, it was like religious to me. Go to GameStop, buy a brand new Xbox. Wow.
So
go home.
Once the account's banned, you can't use that Xbox anymore?
You can't use the Xbox. They would ban the Xbox.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
So in order to make my videos, I'd have to like try to hide my username, right? It's because the Xbox moderator he was doxxed and everything. His name was Steve, but I can't think of his last name, which whatever. He would go on to every single stream because they were trying to stop this trolling. They were trying to stop
cyberbullying.
Microsoft was trying to stop everything that made gaming fun. Like, just that's why they lost to Sony, period. But so they were trying to stop that by banning me. And so what I would do is I would stream for about 1 hour, get banned, console banned, can't do anything with it. It's a bricked. It's literally banned from going online. Take that the next day to GameStop, return it. Hey, this didn't work. Get a new one. Then the next day it would be Walmart, and I would just switch places just so I could keep doing it. That became so stressful and so much hell that I needed to find something else to do because Microsoft was trying to shut me down. So there was this website called Battlecam, right? And I would go over on Battlecam, and that wasn't gaming at all. That was just live, talking trash to each other. And there was one spot where you could cam up, and everybody would have to be in this lineup, and the viewers would vote if that person stays up or gets voted down, right?
So it's like a 1v1 verbal battle kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. Right. So what I would do is I'd go over there, but I would also be live streaming on Blog TV. I'd come over with 2,000 people. They would all upvote me, and I would hijack the website. So nobody could kick me off. And
That's amazing.
I would sit there for like 2 hours straight talking shit to every single one of those people that cammed up normally. They couldn't even respond.
Damn.
So
what kind of people were they? Like, were they just regular guys?
Boomers, white trash,
Right.
like just some young kids, like every different, race, every different age group, every different
So the idea of battle cams is you get on a webcam and you talk shit to each other, and then the audience decides who talked the best shit.
The audience decides who stays up. Yeah.
Is there anything like that around today? That
I don't
sounds like
think
a
so.
great
It's a
concept.
fucking great idea.
No, it's a great idea. So it was created by Elkie David, who's an eccentric billionaire, right? And so Elkie David went over on Twitch at the time, and he had all his hot wives and stuff twerking or whatever, and Twitch banned him. And so he's like, fuck Twitch, I'm going to create my own site. And he created Battlecam.
Was it Justin.tv at the time?
Yeah. But people don't remember that. So that's just said Twitch. But so yeah, his whole idea was I'm going to make a live stream platform where anything goes.
Right.
So like these people on camera showing their face would be calling each other the F words, the N words, like everything. Whatever race you were, people said racist stuff to you, you know? So it was an all-out war, and it was fun. I loved it because I had such a big fan base that I could just bully everyone there. But eventually, Elkie made me a moderator because I brought so many viewers over to the website, right? And there was this other guy, Alex, who was also a moderator.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened is when you're a moderator, you can start anyone and you can kick anyone
So
from
what's
the
the
lineup.
idea? So starting is just putting somebody up.
Okay, let's say
What
we're
is starting?
let's say we're all in a lineup, right?
Okay.
I'm first, you're second, all the way around, right?
Yeah.
A moderator can put him in the front of the line and just make him go up on the camera,
Right.
You know? Or he can kick him out or whatever, right? You have all these controls. I'm a moderator. Alex is a moderator, and Elkie David is not there. There's
Right.
no one there. So what Alex starts doing is he starts starting me over and over again. When I'm waiting, I'm being a good boy. I'm waiting in the lineup for my turn, and he keeps starting me. So to the audience, it looks like I'm starting
Sorry,
myself.
Yeah.
So that's why you say, I'm not starting my fucking self.
Yeah. So the whole time he's doing this, I'm like, dude, I'm not starting myself in the chat. My fans are saying that. Alex is doing this shit. Da 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 da. And Alex is sitting there calling me, a dago, a wop, because I'm Italian, and this is just like a normal part of this website. Everyone's racist.
Guinea wop, bro.
Yeah, true. True.
little Italian moment there for you.
Hell yeah.
Hey, give me a coffee.
Coffee pot.
Great.
Copper coffee pot. Yeah.
So what I did is I went and I live streamed on Blog TV, proving that I was not starting myself, you know? My hands were up in the air.
Yes.
Told my fans to, spam Alex with the N-word, to fire back because he was calling me a dago wop. And so that's basically what that clip is. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so for anyone watching or listening who doesn't know what this meme is, there's basically just this clip.
Just look up KEEMSTAR N-word.
Yeah, just look up KEEMSTAR N-word and you'll see. It's something that happened
It's
so long
It's
ago.
a fantastic piece of internet history. It's a golden
really
video.
is.
Just the way you said the N-word with such passion
Well, look,
really drove it home.
obviously anyone with a brain cell left will defend you on this one and say like, oh, it was no big deal.
Yeah,
and
dude,
it
everything.
really wasn't. Well, you're
But-
cool with Alex anyways now, right?
Sure.
No, I hate him. He deserved it. He deserved every bit of that. I don't like Alex.
Guys, has anyone
Alex,
seen
if you're
Alex
watching
recently?
this, fuck you.
I've actually
Jesus.
never heard I didn't know the full
Yeah,
story
neither
of
did
that.
I.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
glad I saved
Yeah.
it for the podcast.
Hearing that, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem at all with that clip then. Not that I
Yeah.
did, because it was so old, who cares?
Well, it's
Yeah.
well over 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
Well, I mean, how did you feel about the clip over the course of your career? Did it sort of haunt you, or is it always this thing where you're like, well, I don't care? Or
So the first year that it happened, like people shared the clip like, haha, yeah, F Alex, right?
Yeah.
The second year it happened, more of the same. It wasn't until 2012 when it was like,
It resurfaced.
yeah. So 2012. Well, no, it was always like part of the thing because everyone thought
Right.
that clip was funny from day one, right?
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
But it wasn't until 2012 when it started to turn and it started being used against me. Like, because the internet changed, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're a racist, you're a bad person. If you say something racist, you're a bad person. Back then, and I know this seems crazy, like to say this, but the more crazy you were, the more homophobic, racist, or whatever you were, it didn't even matter. Like, people want it and expected the internet to be that
Well,
back then.
the internet back then was toxic and edgy. I mean,
It was a jungle.
yeah,
it was free for all, basically,
even
man.
Shane Dawson had a lot of edgy humor.
Yeah.
When he was in that prime,
I'm sure everyone did.
I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
Shane Dawson's literally being exposed for stories about calling children sexy and fucking cats and everything else. And it's like, you hear this stuff and you're like, how could you, Shane? But then for someone like me remembers,
Yeah.
oh, that's what the internet was.
Well, that was the meme. That was
Yeah.
the humor.
like,
And everyone was in on it at that time. And as the time passes and people come back on,
Yeah.
they're not in on the joke. And
Sure.
they're not in on
don't
how
have
the
the
culture
context.
was years ago.
Yeah.
And just to back that up, in case someone's like, nah, he's just a bad person. How many people have been exposed? How many famous people have been exposed for horrible, horrible things they said on Twitter in the years 2009 to 2012?
Many.
They're always
lot.
between 2009 and 2012.
Kevin Hart lost his thing
know?
with the Oscars, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so stupid, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you can almost always tell that it's just an old joke.
The
you know?
internet was different. Gabby
place.
Hanna, okay? Gabby fucking Hanna, Miss I'm so proud of this community. Like, she had a tweet where she was saying kids are sexy back in 2011 or
Wow,
something.
a lot of people thinking kids are sexy around here.
Crazy.
You
Oh,
know?
weird.
There used to be a meme back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember this. Of the pedo bear. Do
Yeah,
you guys remember the
yeah,
pedo
yeah,
bear?
I remember
Yeah.
Vito Bear.
Like that, this was part of our culture. Like, please think of something
Yeah.
really fucked up and let's joke about
Yeah,
it. You know,
humor
Like,
back then was pretty fucked, eh?
humor
the
back
best.
then was better. I still have that humor
Yeah.
today. I just can't express it.
We all, I think, have that humor today
That's
as
kind
well.
of how we
'Cause we
built our
grew up.
channels.
Grew
Yeah.
up with it, yeah.
Yeah, I think a big part of the reason that we kind of got big actually came was the fact that we sort of rejected that expectation that we would censor ourselves. Not that we were ever insanely edgy, but
Yeah.
we're definitely edgy enough in a time where it was kind of considered like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
can't
these
believe they
guys-
just said that sort of thing.
Yeah,
It's
So-
weird though, because you don't want to use it as a crutch, but
Yeah.
No.
When did Dramaalert start?
yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna-
So to get on with your story, eventually my channels got banned and stuff, like on YouTube everywhere. Like I remember the network that we were with at the time. I can't even think of the name of it. The CEO of the network emailed me. He's like, "Bro, dude, we have to unpartner you." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, dude, it says fag like on your, because the name of our group was FAG, and he was gay. And so he was in LA, and this is just when things started changing.
FAG stood for Federation of Asshole Gamers,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
And the middle A
was like an at.
Was an at sign. Yeah. And so the reason why we called ourselves that is because every game in Halo 3, someone would call you a fag.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? So our immediate response would be like, yeah, I know.
Sure.
So he dropped us from there. The channel got banned. That's a whole nother story. I wanted to know how the channel got banned. Didn't really know what I was going to do because I was done with trolling because Xbox was banning my Xboxes.
Well, who else was involved in FAG?
$2. Asian kid from my hometown of Buffalo, New York. Duranker, who's actually older than me. Still like,
Jesus.
He's the guy
that's possible.
Yeah, that is possible. And then Robot, the FAG Robot, which I'm still in contact with all those boys today.
How are they doing? Where are they now?
They're all doing really well. Everyone's got jobs and their own careers, and they're kind of done with the internet. But every once in a while, we get together, we play some games, and
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's sick.
I just bought all of them brand new gaming PCs.
Oh, dope, man.
Like,
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the trolling stuff was done and over with, right? Didn't know what I was going to do in my career. At this time, Cnanners, are you familiar with him? Big YouTuber.
Of course.
Big Call of Duty YouTuber at the time, starts playing this weird indie game. Fucking, what is this shit? 8-bit weird indie game, all right? Just it makes no fucking sense to anyone, right? We all have consoles. The viewers all have consoles. We all have Xboxes or PlayStations. This dude is up here in this 8-bit world making blocks and doing this weird thing called Minecraft, okay? So a bunch of Call of Duty YouTubers at the time leave Call of Duty and start becoming Minecraft YouTubers.
So this must have been like 2012, 2013?
This is 2011.
2011.
So what I ended up doing, it was 2010. It was towards the end of 2010. Yeah. So I went and made a new channel, which was Minecraft. Did pretty good on it. Messed around with
What
it.
was it
Had
called?
servers. Minecraft All Stars. Kind of created a community channel, but I had nothing going on. Like I just didn't know what I was gonna do. Somebody hit me up and they were like, you know what? There is a guy who is making a Minecraft game and he's releasing it on an Xbox. And I'm like, oh my God. There are fucking millions of kids who have consoles who don't have a gaming PC that are watching this Minecraft stuff. They can't play the game. I'm like, get me in contact with this dude. So I got in contact with that dude. I go, dude, let's work out a deal. I will promote this game. I'll make this game as huge as possible. Like, give me like a percentage of this game. He's like, nah, I don't know. Like, I go, okay, I'm going to promote this game for 24 hours. I fired up and I'm just going to prove to you what I can do. Fired up the live stream, asked my fans. I was like, listen, I need all of your help. We need to promote this game. We need to let the world know. My fans start spamming every single gaming journalist. All right. Like, oh, this game is coming. Minecraft clone is coming. Within 24 hours, this game has so much publicity. Every gaming website does an article on it. Every gaming, like Machinima, YouTuber, and all those shows, they do a story about it. This thing blows up. The guy gives me 30% ownership of the game. And the game comes out, and it fucking sells 2 million copies.
It was Fortress Craft, right?
Fortress Craft, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that piece of shit.
So that was my first like big break. Not a good game, shitty game, but people bought it.
It was a Minecraft clone, but it was the only one available on Xbox. So of course, fucking kids are gonna buy it.
Brilliant move. So then I had a bunch of money, but still no career online anymore because I was still just fucking around. Yeah. Bought a brand new house, bought a brand new vehicle, threw a bunch of money in bank, bought a lot of Bitcoin. Because it was right around that same time, and just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started a podcast with one of my friends called The Bad Kids Show. That blew up, but the channels kept getting deleted and shut down and shut down and shut down. So we'd make new channels and just keep doing the podcast, right? It just got really like, it just sucked, man. They just kept deleting my channels over and over again. Didn't know what I was gonna do. Got addicted to this show called Newsroom on HBO. Like addicted. Like I was in that world. And so I seen Call of Duty YouTubers at the time fighting, like talking shit on Twitter, but on YouTube, not so much. Every once in a while, you'd have a YouTuber brave enough to be like, I don't like this guy. I don't like what he did, you know? But all the opinions and all the fighting and stuff was on Twitter. So what I started doing, because I was addicted to Newsroom, is I started as a meme to like act like a fucking reporter and talk about people fighting with each other on Twitter.
Right.
And then fans were like, you need a hashtag. I was like, hashtag Dramaalert, right?
Right.
And then someone's like, dude, you should make videos on this. I was like, fuck it. So I made a video. It got 100,000 views on a brand new channel.
Jeez.
That's massive.
24 hours.
What year would that have been?
That was I would say the end of 2000. No. Early 2012.
Yeah, so 100,000
Yeah.
views would have been crazy back then.
Oh, yeah.
In that type of time frame.
I made a channel. I made the first Dramaalert channel, and it got 100,000 subscribers in 30 days, and every single video had like anywhere between 60 and 100,000 views.
Crazy.
And what was the like general reception with the community on YouTube when that sort of cropped up? Was everyone sort of excited about this drama channel, or were they get terrified of it immediately, or?
It was an instant success.
Right.
It was so YouTubers, they were watching it. Like they were all watching it. They were all into it. I already built my reputation with all these gaming entertainers. They know me from FAG, right? There was no one that did anything even similar until much later. You know, the Grief guys came around.
Yeah.
So everybody knew who I was. So they just supported this goddamn thing that I was doing and would check it out.
The thing about that sort of stuff is, like, as a YouTuber, I feel like, you know, there's a lot of people that dislike the Dramaalert channel, but and like the fact that it's reporting on the drama and stuff. But I think most YouTubers, if they look in their recommended and see a juicy story, they're going to click it. You know, they're going to be interested in it.
Yeah, let me know who they are so I can expose them. So the main thing was, like, there was two things. It was always a joke, right? I'm pretending to be a newscaster, right?
Yeah.
But also serious because this is real news. And then also there was always another element of it from the very beginning where fuck TMZ, fuck the mainstream media. They are not treating us like celebrities, and I'm getting more views than CNN, you know?
Yeah.
They're not treating us like fucking celebrities. So it was like, I'm going to create a news thing that will treat these people like superstars, you know? And what they say matters, and their opinions matter. And, you know, I'm going to focus on that. Regardless, in the span of 2 years, I created 4 Dramaalert channels that all got banned. Each one of them had over 100,000 subscribers.
Right.
So to this day, YouTube, Susan, you owe me 5 100K plaques. I had to figure out a way to get around this because there was haters that were like, hey, YouTube, KEEMSTAR has a new channel, and they were just banning it. And I had to start over and over again. So I had to figure out a way to survive this. So we looked at the TOS, went through every line, and was like, okay, we got it, right? Put the channel, a friend created the current Dramaalert channel. They went to suspend it again. And we were just like, KEEMSTAR doesn't even own this. He's the content creator. He's
Right.
not banned from appearing in a YouTube video.
Yeah.
He's just banned from creating a channel. So, you know, I was the first one to kind of discover this loophole, and they had to unban it. Legally, they had to unban the channel, right?
Did that take much fighting or any legal battle
Dude,
there? Or
it
what?
was a span of my network at the time, sending a lengthy email, and it was back in 2 days.
Right. Damn.
It's so crazy to think that, you know, people think of like very recent YouTube being all, you know, suppressing of what they don't support, but they've been doing it since the beginning. It's just people haven't really been talking about it other than you.
Well, I got really lucky because, you know, because I've had such a good career with trolling and entertained so many people, eventually fans of mine got jobs at YouTube and started working at YouTube, who did support me and did fuck with me and did understand who I was as a content creator. Like, I'm not a horrible person. I'm a character, right? You know, like they got that. And so in early 2016, in February of 2016, I was completely removed off the ban list. And they said, this is your second chance. If you fuck up again and get banned, you're done, right? Yeah. So I got my channel back. It was legally given back to me, and I've towed the line ever since. So, yeah.
Cool.
And then, yeah, I mean, what, between then and now, it's just been drama alert, just kind of keeping up with things.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, right? I love talking about shit. I love when stuff goes down in the community. Like, it's literally what gets me up in the morning, you know? Like, I love it, you know?
I want to know, what was it like when the iDubbbz video got released?
2016 was a weird year for you.
Everyone has such a misconception of how that all went down, because iDubbbz released a content cop on me. Mm-hmm. I lost 300 subs in the first hour it was out, and then started gaining again. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of people come over and dislike my videos, but I didn't lose subscribers. I didn't lose them at all. How I lost subscribers and how it was, look, the iDubbbz KEEMSTAR thing is funny, right? You know, there's a bunch of clips of me being a complete asshole, right? And it's part of the gimmick, right? That's part of who I am online. So it's a good video. I don't see anything wrong with it. What happened is, months later, 2 people betrayed me. Leafy is here, grade A under A. They saw this hate being grown. Well, it all started from old clips of trolling, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling, like, I played this character called Evil KEEMSTAR. And so for an hour of the start of the show, talk shit to my fans. Like, that's how I open the stream. So I'm telling my fans, I hope your mother dies of cancer. I hate you all. I do this all for money. Like, it's a character that I would do every single stream, right?
Right.
Evil KEEMSTAR opens the show.
Sounds like the Patreon pre-show to me.
So all these clips were taken completely out of context, and they were being portrayed to a new audience in the year 2016 as actual statements. You know, there's no, like,
So it was taken out of context.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So as these exposed videos are building up, the iDubbbz video was real. It didn't take me out of context. It didn't say, oh, look at him saying these horrible things, you know, like, it didn't. That one was fine. It was Leafy and grade A under A who took a bunch of shit completely out of context, didn't tell the story, didn't do the backstory. They wanted to backstab me, because we were actually friends. We would talk like every single night on Skype and shit.
To what extent were you friends with Leafy? You know, how well did you know him when you guys were friends?
Every day on Skype for hours, you know, helping him with his YouTube channel, giving him ideas, you know, helping him. I mean, look, dude, Leafy went from this guy that's kind of cool, kind of popular, to a megastar. Like, you know, people don't understand this kid was making fucking $250,000 in just YouTube rev every single month.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You know? So, you know, when he got that big, he needed help. He needed guidance. I was a YouTuber for 8 years at the time, or whatever it was, 7 years. And I was able to help him and, like, give him advice on what you do with your money, and, you know, navigate through his battles with H3H3 and everything else. So, you know, between me, him, and Grade, we created this, like, you know, friend group to just help each other out on YouTube, just like anyone does, just like this is Misfits or whatever.
Sure. When you discovered him, like, what was your immediate impression? Like, how did you find him? I presume you reached out to him at some point on Twitter or whatever, and
there was something major that he did, where he had his there was the hiss. His fans would hiss, right?
Oh, that went huge.
So that's the first thing that put me on his radar, and we just started talking from there and became friends. Yeah,
right.
So.
Interesting.
But so all these KEEMSTAR, you know, exposed videos of all my trolling clips being exposed to a new audience, it created this bubble and this hate mob. The content cop comes out. They decide to, like, throw me under the bus and ride that wave up and make exposed videos on me and betray me. And yeah, dude, it was hell. I had to leave the internet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, that was very much real. It very much got very fucking ugly. It got to a point where I couldn't even defend myself. Some good memes were created from it, though. You know, why am I still getting hate? Because I put out an hour defense, like, proving all this was wrong, right? You know, I was innocent, but it didn't matter. Like, the fans wanted
Why am I still getting hate?
to lynch someone.
So was that the why am I still getting hate thing? Was that kind of in the middle of that? I don't want to call it a breakdown, but would you call it a breakdown, or is it just a?
That was my recovery, right?
Okay.
So I left the internet I got this dope retreat place at a resort. A bunch of friends drove across the country to just kind of hang out with me, drank a bunch of beers, and just left the internet. Actually left the internet.
Right.
I had a guy covering for me at the time, Blue. He covered for me. He took like a bunch of the hate, a bunch of the arrows, but you know, I had to. Like there was no way to. The mob was just too big. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't one person's fan base, right? It was Leafy. It was Grade. The iDubbbz people that thought this was funny, now they've turned into actually haters because of these other videos, right? So it was just too intense. I had to get out. And when I came back, I knew I was taking big L's, but I was just going to keep swinging until I won, right?
Yeah.
And so after proving myself, after why am I still getting hate, after all that, I just fucking had this one-on-one moment with myself and said, look, dude, you've done this for years. You always rose to the top by fucking entertaining. You have to fucking show them, because what they tried to do is they tried to build Scarce up. They all said unsub from
Yeah.
Keem
That's
and
always how it
sub to
goes.
That's
Scarce.
right.
Scarce
I
is
remember
killing
that.
it recently.
Is he still a
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. I was watching some of his videos this morning.
Yeah.
Wrong podcast to bring that up, mate. Wrong fucking podcast to bring that one up.
He lost a lot of weight though.
Yeah.
And he's
Was-
also a nice guy.
So Scarce went from I had 1.6 million subs at the time. I quickly lost 200,000 during this, and Scarce gained like 1 million subs like,
Damn,
within a month.
that's crazy.
From all these shout outs from all these people that organized this hit on me, right? So I am no longer the #1 drama channel. I'm fucked. Scarce has me by 1 million subs, and I gotta fight for the right to fucking, you know, be #1. So from that moment on, I stopped being like, this happened and this happened. I stopped doing the newsroom guy act,
Yeah.
and I started being fucking the guy that everyone thought I was, the asshole. And I've just said, okay, I am going to be fucking KEEMSTAR on this goddamn thing. I'm going to put my opinion out, and I'm going to be biased as fuck. And this is now, Dramaalert's going to be the KEEMSTAR show. So the show immediately changed, and I developed a fan base and just started winning and beat them.
There's definitely like a huge audience for people that want to consume like news and drama and stuff, but also kind of want to be told how they should be feeling about it. So I feel like having that bias and that personality behind it, even though it's supposed to be a news show, I feel like that is like super beneficial.
Well, I don't withhold information, right?
Yeah.
You're going to hear all the information, but then I'm going to give my opinion, and I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you which way to think. Now, you can disagree with me and tell me to go fuck off, right? But I just want you to come back tomorrow for the time that you do agree with me.
You're offering
you
just
know?
a perspective
Yeah.
of many possible
Yeah.
perspectives.
So was your so was it Content Cop? Was your Content Cop the first Content Cop based around one person? Because I know he did the like food review channels.
My
and
Content
stuff.
Cop was the first one to really pop off.
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
I think iDubbbz did one on Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx.
Way,
It's
way
like,
back.
eh. The thing is, I was the Content Cop actually happened from a misunderstanding. Like I had this reputation of ruining careers, right? And it became a meme. Like so, I would joke about it, and so I was helping organize an iDubbbz and Jinx boxing fight with a celebrity boxing fight promoter, and I was trying to get all that organized. So I was talking to iDubbbz a lot in the DMs. And then iDubbbz uploaded a video, and he had the Alex clip in there. And I'm like, oh, no, not this. Like, Jesus.
It's come back to haunt you.
It's not this. This is the time where it started to be like, oh, you're a racist. You're in the KKK. You know, like, this is the time where it was being really negative. So I hit up iDubbbz. I'm like, dude, please don't use that clip. I'm like, or I'd have to ruin your career, like laughing out loud as the meme. He took that as I was actually threatening him. He didn't understand that.
It was a DM though.
It was a DM.
So yeah, you can kind of.
He took that. Well, it says laughing out loud at the end. So
You
that's
should have
like,
done /S.
So he took that as fuck Keemstar. I'm making the Keemstar Content Cop, and of course, there's tons of content because like
Yeah.
my Twitter was always popping at me just fighting with people. Like that's the entertainment.
Did you know
of
it was coming out before it came out?
I had no idea.
Okay.
Wow.
I sweat it for that first hour because I was
Yeah.
losing subs, but then when I
Yeah.
started gaining subs, I was like, whatever, you know.
Right.
Then the hive mind kicks in.
So give us some insight into how you'd film a typical episode of Dramaalert. Is it kind of done in one take, or do you like ever have to take a second to think about it, or
Who supplies
like,
you the information?
Yeah, like how's it all run?
Give us the process from step one to the end.
So I'm constantly on Twitter all day long. Love Twitter. Best app ever. My fans, anytime there's drama, they tweet it at me. So I'm checking my mentions. Like if something happens, it's not one person that's tweeting at me. It's multiple people. So I'm not going to miss it, right? But I can't be on Twitter all day long. I got a family, I got a kid, I got
three houses.
Yeah, 3 houses. I got stuff to do.
How do you
right?
have 3 houses? What do you do with 3 houses?
Well, I bought my first house from getting the Fortress Craft money.
Right.
That house is now like a museum. When I left, I didn't take anything from it, like nothing. Some clothes, but that's it.
Are you renting it out?
Well, my brother-in-law stays there
okay.
now, but it's like it's basically a time capsule of early Dramaalert and Keemstar and all that. Bought a new house. Loved the new house. That's the one that you see on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, with
my
the big pool and
yeah. Love that house. Got it in foreclosure. Got an amazing deal. If I told you how much I spent on it, you wouldn't believe me.
How much you spend on it?
$315,000.
I don't believe you.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy.
It's worth $600. So yeah.
Jeez.
Congrats.
Very good.
Foreclosure, dude. That's the move. Then my parents own a farm in the middle of fuck all, right? And so I love riding 4-wheelers, ATVs, side-by-sides. I love snowmobiling. I needed to get another house out there to do that type of shit. So I bought a house for that sole reason, to fill it up with toys, just to, potentially kill myself one day on an ATV. So yeah. So that's how I got the third house. Sick.
So the process.
Oh yeah, the process. Okay, so we have a Skype group, and I have 2 guys that have worked for me for over 3 years now.
Do you still use Skype?
Yeah, I love Skype. Discord sucks. It lags. It stutters.
Really?
Look. If I've been dogging on Discord, and like I get these kids that are like, "Oh, Discord is way better. Skype is for boomers." Okay, try to do some test. I want to see some actual real test about verbal quality, like voice quality. Skype versus Discord. Discord is not going to win.
You reckon?
There's a lag. It's not as clear. Like, you know what I mean? It's just it's not as good. Skype is still superior to Discord.
I will
with
admit,
verbal
there
communication.
is a lag. Like,
Is there?
if you,
I think it's so slight. It's so slight, it's practically unnoticeable.
wasn't that the reason why we all recorded our own individual audio tracks when we did the podcast on Discord?
Well, I mean, dude, to be fair, 3 people were in New
Yeah,
Zealand,
that's-
1
that's
was in
fair.
Melbourne, and
200 pings.
two were on the East Coast of the U.S.
I would have thought with Dramaalert and all the organization that must have to go down with the team and stuff, that Discord, all the different channels, having a server, that could be useful. But can you kind of get along with it on Skype?
Yeah, there's 4 of us in there, and I just scroll through and get everything.
Right.
The guys that work for me, they're brilliant. They're not just finding the stories, but they're looking for like fan reactions and getting a couple in there, right? So I can judge kind of what the public is.
How
feeling about it.
did you hire these? How did you come across these 2 people? How did you procure their service?
I think you said 4.
Oh, is it 4? No, it should be 3 because it's him and 3 others.
Yeah, way back in the day, when Dramaalert was much smaller, I had a group of fans that would just like, were helping out. Like, they weren't employees or anything. They were just like, dude, like I want to be a part of this group in this thing, and I want to help you find stories. Out of maybe like 50 different people during that time when we would do that, one was a god, and that's Owen. So hired him when we started actually making money. And then another guy from Brazil, Gus, just absolutely obsessed with Alyssa Violet and Jake Paul. And his Twitter, he was doing Dramaalert basically on his own personal Twitter. And he was getting the information before anyone in that world, in that whole world. And he wasn't getting paid for it. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm just going to, I'm stealing this guy's news. Like, I'm using all his leads to break my stories. I'm just going to fucking hire you. And I hit him up, and dude, he's been absolutely great. And so, I've had a lot of different people that work for me, and a lot of them can't deal with, like, I'm a bit of a dick. Like, if you can't get the shit done, you can't do what I'm asking, like, just get the fuck out of here. Right. Those 2 guys have been very loyal and very good at finding news. So how it works is I go through probably on average every Dramaalert about 20 stories. Of those 20 stories, I got to think about, how can I turn this into entertainment? How can I tell the audience a good story? How can I get viewers that don't give a fuck about this YouTuber, that don't care about this YouTuber, to care about this, right?
Sure.
And if I can convince myself that I can tell that story and make it engaging, I run that story. So I'll go through and I normally pick about 5 different stories. I have pictures, right? Just screenshots of videos, screenshots of tweets, and I put them in lines on my laptop, and then I hit record and just start talking.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you just fully off the top, just kind of.
How many takes per average do you think?
When I'm reading a couple different takes, like I had to redo them, right? I don't stop the camera and the audio recording at all, right? But that
You just cut. You just retake and then you cut the bad takes out. You just do a jump cut.
Yeah. So like the original audio files will be about 15 minutes. The actual video is 10 minutes. So 5 minutes of I stuttered here. Let me redo that line.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that Chris Hansen showed up at Onision's house recently? And then Onision called the cops, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, there's this stalker knocking on my door, shouting through the door, trying to get me to talk to him.
Trying to make me take
And then
a
the
seat.
woman goes, do you know who he is? And he goes, yeah, his name's Chris Hansen. It's like everyone in America knows that Chris Hansen goes to pedophiles' houses and tries to talk to them.
Well, it was funny. He tried to sue Chris Hansen and with this guy, Mr. Repsion or something, in civil court. And he was trying to get like a restraining order so that they couldn't harass him anymore. And they dropped all of the charges because he sued the wrong Chris Hansen.
Oh my God.
Dude,
What a fucking retard.
the wrong Chris Hansen came out with a statement, and he's like,
Yeah, he's like,
What the fuck?
He's like, hey, this guy's referring to Chris Hansen from Dateline NPC. I am not that Chris Hansen.
What a name
Please
to
drop
have.
these charges. And he was like, all right, fucking drop them.
Oh
Yeah,
my
dude.
God.
But
So, I mean, I don't want to bring up Onision because I feel like, I don't know. He feels like the wrong guy to give attention to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm
dude,
interested in
he
your,
has Chris Hansen's attention.
Yeah.
It's just a drop in the water at this point.
I'm
I
just
watched
interested in
that-
your take on him, Keem, as a person, as where he is at
Have
right
you guys
now.
seen that hour-long like video that came out recently with, what's his name? The Right Opinion or something?
I'm
No,
going to get
it's
so
super
much
interesting.
hate for what I'm about to say. I'm going to get so much hate for this. There's an angry mob out there that wants to see Onision go down. I am willing to bet that Onision is most likely innocent of 75% of the shit he's accused of. 75%, maybe even more. Maybe all of it. It could be all of it. Onision is such a hated figure that when you watch these Onision exposed videos, you're hearing one side of the story, right? And people are like, guilty. There's no proof. And that's what Onision keeps saying. He's like, where is the proof? There's shit that obviously makes Onision look bad, treating people horrible. But where is the I mean, a picture or something of Onision making out with one of these girls when they're underage? Like, where is the proof?
I mean, it seems more reasonable to believe that he is crazy enough to do the stuff he's accused of when he makes a video where he's screaming, stripping naked, and then pouring kombucha all over his body.
But what's the reason he's doing that for, though? Is it an actual breakdown or is it for attention?
Got to be for attention. I mean, you know, it's weird. Billy the Fridge went over on a live stream and fucking talked to Onision, and he was saying, you know, he admitted that he was dating a 17-year-old when he was 25, and then they moved somewhere,
Which is legal.
which had a
In
legal,
Washington.
Yeah,
It's,
they
Washington
moved to
again, yeah.
Washington. You know, I don't know. I'm not informed enough to really have a take, but
Neither am I.
yours is certainly hot.
Based on all the information that I have, I believe, and I fully believe this, that Onision is much more innocent than his wife, who now transitioned into a guy.
Yeah,
So-
that was kind of the vibe I got.
Yeah, that's how this is my take. I think Onision is like a bystander with his husband or girlfriend. It's really confusing. I'm sorry, guys.
Sure.
But Onision married a girl who transitioned into a guy. So that
Does
guy,
that make Onision gay?
Yeah.
Onision's definitely confirmed gay, yeah.
But her name is Kai, or his name is Kai. And I think Kai was constantly luring in these underage girls into the home, into the dynamic. And if Onision did do something wrong, that's why, right? But if he did something wrong, he's guilty, obviously. But I think she is more the predator in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, the videos I was watching,
or he, I don't
they
know.
very much explained that, like, oh yeah, Kai did all this bad stuff, but then they always prefaced it with, but that's often what happens when you're a victim of someone like Onision.
Yeah.
Oh, so they try to put
They always
fault
push the
back
things that
onto
Kai
him.
did onto Onision, saying that it's
I mean,
like
they could both be terrible people and work as a team.
Yeah, who knows?
I guess we'll just have to see.
The thing is Onision has always been very manipulative, right? So the people that are going at Onision are saying, okay, maybe Kai did this, but Onision had a part. He manipulated that scenario, right? Which is like, okay, I get that, and that's very believable, but it's also a guess.
Yeah.
It's not proof. So
I guess, I mean,
Hey, man, we'll see what Chris Hansen does in his investigation. See if he gets to the bottom of this.
yeah, who knows what the hell's going to happen with Onision. Maybe your second most, or maybe it'll even surpass the Bashaverse story someday.
I don't cover the Onision story very lightly here and there. And
Because there's no real facts, or solid stuff for the moment, I suppose.
it's like girls come out with accusations, right? And that's enough for a video, but it just helps Onision. I mean, guys, okay, honestly, the people that hate Onision, that watch every single video about Onision was dead.
Yeah.
He was pulling 2,000 viewers a video. Now he's pulling fucking 60,000 to 100,000. You guys have, through this hate, relaunched Onision's career, and it's honestly, it's your fault. And I don't think he's getting arrested. Nothing's going to happen at the end of the day because there's not enough proof. He's not going to get arrested. He's not going to be charged. He's not going to be terminated on YouTube. Like, you're just helping his career at this point.
It's so interesting with drama on YouTube. I feel like because YouTube is considered normal people that and they don't have this sort of like celebrity status that actors and stuff do. I feel like the drama is always way more juicy and way more interesting because it feels like relatable. It's almost like someone in your neighborhood did something fucked up,
Yeah.
Whereas if an actor does something fucked up, it's like you talk about it for a day and then you don't really give a shit.
Yeah, and the celebrities are always like, they have the PR people, hush, hush, don't say it. You know what I mean? So it just ends.
A relationship between a YouTuber and their audience is much more personal and close than a connection to a fan and an actor. So I think people are obviously more interested in hearing news about YouTubers that they watch as opposed to actors that they like to see in movies because there's just more of a person. You see more of them.
I said this on Cold Ones last night, I believe. I don't know. I was very drunk. But Philip DeFranco has his own building, okay? Philip DeFranco, very rich, very successful. He has his own company, all right? He has multiple companies. When you're watching Philip DeFranco on YouTube, are you watching him at a news desk or are you watching him in his bedroom? Why does it look like his bedroom? Because Philip DeFranco understands that you have to look like a YouTuber. You have to appeal to them on like a guy you know.
Yeah.
You can't come to him like a company, even though he is a company. So, I mean, it's just what you just said amplified. Yeah.
Yeah. You see that everywhere. You see that with streamers. XQC's got a mattress in the background. Every big streamer. It's a casual relationship. There you go.
That's what I was worried about when I redone my studio, that I would like lose that. Like, dude, it's just a room in my house, but it still is just a room in my house.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
I've
set.
actually-
A set is important.
I've seen there's this guy who he did business management for a lot of content creators or something, and he's been recently growing on YouTube talking about streamers and why some are doing well and some are doing badly. And he had another guy on and they were discussing that you can invest all your money back into your stream, but there's a point where it gets too good quality and too nice where it just feels corporate.
It feels unauthentic.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You're never going to catch me being professional in anything I do. Dude,
Same.
When I started my gaming tournaments, all these fucking gatekeepers of esports are like, oh, he's bad. Oh, he's this. Bro, I used drama. I used Logan Paul. I used any little bit I could to blow it up because I understand the audience. The audience wants to be entertained.
Minecraft Mondays was very successful.
You esports people are so fucking boring. You have no vision, no creativity. You're over there like shaking your ass to Dr. Pepper, trying to get some dollar bills. If you just care about the views, the money's going to come afterwards, you know?
True.
It's all about eyeballs in the industry.
True. Dr. Pepper wants to sell Dr. Pepper. They don't care about you and your, you know, squeaky clean bullshit.
Dr. Pepper for a gaming tournament, dude. Imagine drinking Dr. Pepper.
If
you're listening to this episode and you're currently drinking Dr. Pepper, what is wrong with you?
I have to disagree. I got
Dr. Pepper.
I got to give a shout out to Dr. Pepper because Dr. Pepper was one of the very first mainstream sponsors to come in and support Call of Duty esports. So thank you for that.
Well, I have to give a personal shout out to my favorite drink, GamerSupps.
Yes, once again.
You know, big personal sponsor for us.
Code Misfits
Beautiful,
GamerSupps.gg.
better than G Fuel.
Keem, where do you see yourself? I mean, it's such a typical question, but what's next for Keem? What's next?
I
Let's keep
don't
it
know.
going.
I just came out with a music video trolling all K-pop.
Yeah.
You know?
I hate
very
K-pop.
Such a troll.
All you stupid bitches better stop or get dropped. Yeah,
I
that's
hate
good too.
K-pop.
Yeah.
Banger.
I have to
Club
ask,
banger.
what made you do the clown makeup thing?
That was genius.
That was
Yeah.
so funny.
Oh, thank you. So I mean, Shane Dawson really liked that dude. I really like that dude, and I respect him on another level because he's from my generation. You know, he's actually older than me on YouTube.
Great generation.
Who's still at the top of the world, right? And for me, when Shane Dawson made the TannenCon documentary, it opened my eyes to, I can do more with Dramaalert. I can tell stories in this documentary form, and I can do just so much more. And so he inspired me to do the FouseyTube documentary.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great too.
You guys, these guys were involved.
That was
They
around the
were-
time
they
that we
were
met
over
you.
there.
I think,
Yeah.
the
LA,
first
yeah.
time.
Yeah. So shout out to Shane Dawson for that. The beauty community on YouTube has gotten so fucking insanely big, and there's just so much money being made.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Shane Dawson made $30 million in a day. There's no other person on the fucking planet that can do that. Who
Jeff
can do that?
Bezos.
Okay. I'm talking about influencer, like celebrity influencer. Can Beyonce make $30 million from plugging a product? Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. Can Beyonce sell $30 million of product in a day? No, she can't. She launched a brand, it failed. Nobody can do this shit. All right. Kylie Jenner, maybe. But like, you know, YouTubers, we have this crazy power. In fact, if someone very influential just ended up telling someone else very influential, I can't say it's private, but YouTubers in the very near future will be the highest paid entertainers in the world, right? I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but Shane Dawson, big inspiration to me right now. I feel like he is the leader in the YouTube space on where we can take this and how far we can go.
Yeah.
Comes out with his own makeup, makes all the money, and I'm just like, dude, like people start this meme on Twitter because a lot of our best ideas will come from our fans, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, KEEMSTAR, you should come out with your own clown makeup. So I tweet out, hey guys, should I come out with my own palette? And someone responds to it, be like, yeah, it'll be clown makeup, you fucking clown. Like, and I just looked at that and I was like, yeah, that's how I do this. Right?
Fucking amazing.
So it was kind of a hate comment that inspired it then.
Oh, of course, right?
Dude.
I'm like, it's just fucking brilliant, right? Like,
Yeah.
recently I seen an exposed video from this Tea Time or one of you tea fuckers, you know, the people that copy my show, and you were like, I can't believe Shane Dawson reviewed Keemstar's makeup. He was just making fun of Shane. I wasn't making fun of Shane. I was making fun of clowns, you fucking clown. I was making fun of you, you dumb cunt. Seen your video. Seen your video. Suck a dick. Suck a fucking dick.
Tell them to buy
bitch.
your makeup.
Yeah, buy my makeup, cunt.
It's something Australia Day again here.
Yeah,
I love
hey.
this.
But it was to make, you know, it was just to make everyone laugh. Like have a little bit of a joke.
sure.
It wasn't picking on the beauty
Yeah,
community.
exactly. Like that was so clearly not a dig at anyone. It was just a bit of fun.
Hit up my manager, know nothing about makeup. My manager knows nothing about makeup. And I go, we got to do a palette and it's got to be clown makeup. And so he reaches out to some experts. We got like actual quality makeup. Got a palette, create it. Oh, by the way, the margins on makeup are insane. Stupid.
I can imagine, yeah.
Stupid. Like I think it cost me, I can't even say because then people get mad, but it cost me almost nothing to make this. And then, you know, people were shocked. They're like, oh, he's got such an affordable price because it's only $23 that we sold it for when our competitors are selling it for $50, right? I still made a killing. I made retarded money on this. But anyhow, long story short, we create it. I do the commercial. And within the commercial, it tells the story. Like, you know, I get this idea from Twitter of someone calling me a fucking clown. And so I make clown makeup with the clown nose applicator.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, it fucking killed. And then a lot of the reason why people think I was making fun of Shane Dawson is because my website was crashing. And the reason why it was crashing is so many people were going to it and it was getting DDoSed at the same time. Right, so they thought with my website crashing when I launched the makeup, I was making fun of Shane Dawson because their shit went down.
That is reading so much into it.
I wasn't. It really happened. They thought that this whole thing was a bit to make fun of Shane, but I don't know. It wasn't.
Well, congrats on that.
Yeah, that's
crazy. I'm thinking we're nearing the end of the show here.
There's so much more to talk about.
Is there? We have a question.
Dude.
Go for it.
All right.
What the fuck? No, cunt. I'm done.
Amazing. You've been sitting there in absolute silence. Just
You can leave if you like.
Just rotting away.
I forgot you were here.
Is there anything you'd like to ask Keem?
Anything I would like to ask you?
Yeah.
I got something to ask you. On the car ride over here, I said that I might potentially have the coronavirus and that I might die. And I requested that you would show up to my funeral. And you said absolutely not, cunt. What the fuck?
Your comment.
I'm not going. I don't do funerals.
Not even for Keem.
Not even for Keem.
Unreal.
To be honest.
Would you at least go to the wake?
The wake?
What the
The
fuck's the wake?
It's like before the funeral.
Yeah.
Is that an American term?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Really?
I know what he meant by that. I knew what he meant by
You know what a wake is?
Yeah, of course.
Fucking retards.
So there's the wake where you just go and visit the casket a couple days, and then there's the funeral, which is the big production.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think that the idea of a wake, I think that probably is an American thing.
Why do they call it a wake if you're dead?
In case they wake up.
yeah. It was actually, I think that is actually the
it's
reason
literally
why.
in case they wake up, because fucking people would like go into a coma, and then people would be like, "Oh yeah, he's dead," and then
Actually,
fucking throw him in a casket,
they-
and bury him
what?
underground. They tied a fucking string to their finger, and then they would ring the bell if they were alive.
Because people would wake up underground.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
What
Fucking
crazy.
buried in the casket because their fucking family thought they were dead.
That's scary.
So
as
the
fuck.
wake is just double checking, basically.
Yeah,
It's like,
practically.
oh no, he's definitely
he's definitely dead. It's probably more of a tradition thing now because obviously people know if you're dead or not.
I suppose. Hopefully.
Keem, obviously, you were in your prime in the 90s. I'm talking physiologically, like age-wise. You were a DJ way back when at a club, many clubs.
No, I was a wedding DJ.
A wedding DJ.
A wedding DJ, yeah.
So my question is, how many drugs have you done through being a DJ, and what were they?
Well, my early days in my 20s and stuff, I used to smoke a lot of weed, right? But then I took 6 months off. I just started at the law firm, tried to smoke and got super paranoid. It was weed not good for me anymore.
Okay.
But I was working at the law firm, and then on the weekends I was DJing weddings. Okay, so I mean, it was just I was working every single day of my life, but I was making a lot of money DJing weddings, sometimes like $1,500 a wedding,
Really?
right? Wow. So I would have extra cash, so I would also go to the bar every single night. And it would be 4 o'clock at the bar. I'm like, oh my God, I got to work in a couple hours. So a couple lines happened here and there,
Lines?
Sure.
Just, lines.
Of
line swagger.
There's kids watching.
We can censor it.
He would queue up for lines.
Yeah,
Oh!
get the
Line.
queue. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
standing in
I
line.
got it.
At work.
Oh, did you guys hear that? That's the show's over alarm. The show's over alarm has just been sounded. Keem, is there anything else you wanted to bring up or talk about in the show?
Since I was planning to come out to see you guys and see Chad, obviously. You guys have been asking me to come out for a while, but I have ADHD. 16-hour flights just don't work for me, but I pulled it off. Got to do one tomorrow. Kind of not looking forward to that. But in the process of planning to come here, wildfires have struck the continent and everything. So I started a charity, hashtag Stop the Fire or stopthefire.gg. So far, we've raised $150,000.
Wow, very good.
So if I could plug that,
Of course, we'll put it up on screen for you. That'll be in the description.
Right here.
Sure, right there. Hey, and can I just say thanks for making the flight over? I mean,
Yeah,
it's been
dude.
dope having you in the
Thank you.
country.
Dude, you guys are awesome. Like,
Oh, likewise, bro.
Oh, I do want to say something. Meeting Keem, because this is the first time I've met
It is, isn't it?
and meeting Keem was the closest feeling I've ever had of meeting a reality TV star. I was sitting in my office streaming. I hear I hear an American voice. I go, "Who's that?" I look over. I see Keem walking in the door with a cameraman behind him, talking to the camera. And I just see him walking around our office with a camera. And I was like, "This is so surreal." And then he walks into my office, camera behind him. It was just like watching someone filming a reality show. It was so funny.
Right. So for the outro, could we please have you remove your hat?
no.
Please, dude, please.
Dude, the hat only comes off in special moments, like Dollar in the Woods. You saw a little Keem bald action, and
don't know why
Keem
you-
Cosmetics.
Are you self-conscious about it?
No, it's all about acting like you're self-conscious about it to engage others to ask to take off the.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
I see.
5 head.
I
is funny,
saw him take his hat off the other day. There was a little mouse inside.
Why don't you take that mask off? I
Yes,
mean,
why
hey,
not?
I'll tell you what. I will remove this hat right now if you remove all that stuff you got going on.
Blue, censor this.
We can censor you as well. We can censor you as well.
Censor you too.
They won't censor
We'll
me.
censor it. We'll
They
censor it.
won't censor
We
me.
promise.
The other day, you fuckers literally told me when I did the K-pop or Keem Pop song, right? You told me that my editor had a file that he put on the Google Drive for my fans to download named the N-word, okay? My editor was this close to being fired, all right? I don't trust you guys, you trolls. Fuck off.
Fair enough.
And it wasn't true. It wasn't true, by the way.
Just censors the top of his
Wait, that wasn't true?
No!
Wow.
Bit.
Okay.
Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Keem, for coming
you
on the
very
show.
much.
What do we need to say? Fuck it. Show's
Happy
over.
Australia
Happy
Day.
Australia Day.
All right.
All right. Peace, guys.
Peace out.
See ya.